defending the free market, and making the moral case for capitalism. The Justin Moore Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Justin Moore Show, where we make sense of what's going on in this crazy, insane, out of control world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this last weekend I went to a concert. I went to a Garth Brooks concert. For any of you guys out there who are country music fans, and this concert was in Billings, which is where I record this show from, or just outside of Billings. And he did a total of 5 shows, which is very unusual here in Billings. A lot of you guys who live in the big cities, you get an artist to go there, they'll do several shows in a row just because there's so many people. Typically for us, say Elton John comes to town or whatever, he'll do one show and then he's on his way. Well, for Garth Brooks, he kept selling the tickets so fast. He did a total of 5 shows in a period of 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I went to his very first show on Friday, and I have to tell you guys, I was completely blown away how good of an entertainer Garth Brooks is. I couldn't believe it. That's the best show I've ever been to. Garth Brooks has incredible charisma. When a guy, when you can feel his energy, and it makes you have energy, that sort of thing, and you can watch him perform. It's like, wow, he's following his passion. This is what he loves to do. He loves every second of it. There's some people that are on stage. It's like, okay, I'm doing this. This is a job. Just they're going through the motions. It's not like it's fun for them anymore. Garth Brooks, and then he was there with his wife Trisha Yearwood, who's also a country music star. And they sang several songs together and so forth. But I couldn't believe how good he is at what he does. And I always like to admire people who are just really good at what they do. And it's like, wow, how does he do that? How does he make it work? I just try to take it all in and try to understand it. So I'm really glad I went to the concert. And for any of you who, even if you're not a country music fan, I'm sure you know some of his songs. Because he started in the 1990s, and he has a lot of great songs and a lot of recognizable songs. So I just couldn't believe it. So if you guys ever get a chance to see Garth Brooks, I know he was doing a show, I think, at the Wynn in Vegas. I don't know if he's still doing that or if he just got off that contract. But yeah, if you guys ever get a chance to go see Garth Brooks, I strongly recommend you do. You will be very, very satisfied. That's for dang sure. And now, you guys know on this show, I mostly focus on economics, and I'm talking about how basically the government is wildly inefficient, how the private sector can do things better. I talk about, how broke we are, how, the government, we have a national debt right now of $19.9 trillion. We're approaching $20 trillion day by day. We're approaching $20 trillion in national debt. And when George W. Bush left office right before Obama came in office, the national debt was $10.5 trillion. So here we have a doubling of the national debt in 2 terms of the Obama presidency. Well, as broke as the government is, I guess we have to ask ourselves, okay, how did we get to this point? Okay, obviously, we're spending more than we're taking in, and partly, yes, we've had China that's been like, hey, yeah, you guys go ahead and spend money, and instead of us getting a product in return, we'll just take IOUs. That's fine. And so, in a way, we've kind of been subsidized by the Chinese. But as Americans, this was all voluntary. We gladly chose to do this, and a lot of people now. And I just remember reading a news article where the people who buy those expensive, those Nike Jordan shoes, they're like $300. Well, for the first time, they're talking about actually you can set up a payment plan. So I don't know how many months it will take you to pay off the shoes, and say you have a monthly payment of $20 a month to buy sneakers. So everything that Americans buy today, we don't pay cash, we have payments. And guys and girls out there they don't look at, what's the total cost of, say, the new vehicle you're going to buy, but wait, what's going to be my payment? And that's how a lot of people get screwed over when they do buy a brand new car. because they don't look at what's going to be the final price when you include interest, because that's how you need to negotiate. And then once you get what the final price is, okay, now it's split up how much this is going to be for a 60-month payment, let's say, or if you're going to pay cash for, which is ideal. But if you want to go, paying month to month, then yes, you want to have that final price figured out. Because a trick that the dealers will do, they just ask, okay, well here we have some options here. Which of these would you be able to afford for a payment? And people really do. They just look at the monthly payment and they figure, okay, wow, I got a good deal. I'm driving this new car for $250 a month or whatever it is. It's like, well, actually, okay, yeah, but that's over 72 months or 84 months. So really, that wasn't a good deal. And you're also paying 7% interest, which is not good at all. And then I've also heard that people in general, because now we use credit cards, right? We use plastic to pay for things. Well, they've done studies and they have found that people who actually pay physical cash for something, they will spend less. Because you actually realize, holy crap, I'm spending this much money on this. Like say if you go into Costco, you're spending $263, you're pulling out 200, then you're getting a 50, and then a 10, and then 3 ones. You're like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of money. But you're just like, cash or credit, you're like, charge it, put it on the card. You're not really, psychologically, you can take the hit a lot more easily. So all that's really interesting, and kind of what I want to focus on today is just to point out, okay, how broke are we? Not just looking at the government, but like in terms of the average citizen. Well, I found this article here from USA Today where the title of it is, Almost Half of Americans Die Nearly Broke. So let me just start off with the first few sentences here. In a recent Go Banking Rates study, 69% of adults admitted to having less than $1,000 in the bank, while 34% said they actually don't have any savings at all. But apparently, this collective lack of savings doesn't get all that much better with age. A study by the National Bureau of Economic Research found not so long ago that almost half of Americans die nearly broke. Of the general population, 46% of retirees die with savings of $10,000 or less. But that number climbs to 57% among retirees who are single. Okay, you guys have heard me on my show before mention about the average American, not having less than $1,000 in a bank for an emergency. Well, here, according to Go Banking Rates study, 69% of adults, 69% have less than $1,000 in the bank, and 34% have absolutely no savings. They live paycheck to paycheck. And then that was the other number that I just read there that just blew my mind. 46% of retirees. So supposedly, the people who are retired, okay, you've been working all your life. Hopefully you built up a nest egg. You got some money. You can go on trips. You can go on cruises. Well, 46% of retirees die with savings of $10,000 or less. $10,000 when you're not bringing in an income. I mean, that is not much money. That doesn't last you very long. I mean, those numbers are incredible. And that's actually really, really sad that the average American is living with that little of savings, that little of a rainy day fund. Let's continue on with this piece here. The problem is that dying nearly broke isn't just a matter of denying one's beneficiaries an inheritance. Rather, it points to a frightening degree of financial vulnerability during retirement. If seniors are passing without much in the way of assets, it means that in the years leading up to their death, they're ill-equipped to handle a major unexpected expense, such as a significant medical bill. In fact, in that same Go Banking Rate survey, only 37% of seniors, 65 and older, claim to have $1,000 or more in the bank. Oh, that is crazy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is another insane number. 37% of seniors, people who are 65 or older, they say they have $1,000 in the bank or less. That is horrible. I mean, just like say if they ask that question to just millennials, and if 37% of them said, yeah, I have less than $1,000 in the bank. It'd be like, oh, I mean, that's not good. These are people who are retired. And, obviously, yeah, when you're older, you're going to have more medical bills. You got prescriptions to pay for. I mean, $1,000, that does not get you far at all. And that's probably why so many people, want some form of, they still want the government in healthcare. Because the average person thinks, well, without the government in healthcare, without the government trying to bring down costs, I'm going to be broke. I need the government to help me out. So that's probably is how a lot of people are get sucked into that. And like you saw people at the Tea Party rallies, like, hey, yada yada yada, shrink the size of government. Yeah, you guys are horrible, but keep your dang little paws off my Medicare or Medicaid. Because without it, without the government's help, they feel that they will go bankrupt. But there is another alternative to bringing down the cost of health care. Actually, the only way is for the government to get the hell out of the way. Because when you have the government subsidizing certain people, well, that's just taking money out of one person's pocket and putting money in the other person's pocket. So it seems like it's a little cheaper, but it's actually more expensive. And here, get this. So on top of the average senior, 65 and older, they have less than $1,000 in the bank. Well, 37% of them do. Now, also, do you guys want to guess how much credit card debt do you think the average senior, 65 and older, has? This is on average. Okay, well, you made your guess. I don't know what you guessed because I can't hear you. But the average in credit card debt for someone who is 65 and older is $6,300. And you look at the average credit card out there, what you're paying an APR, interest rate, 22%. I mean, that's not good, and that's horrible. And now let's pull back here just for a second and look at, okay, so you guys always hear me talking about here on the show, talking about how broke the government is. We have the national debt right now is $19.9 trillion. That's not including the future costs of entitlements that we promise future retirees and people who are going to be on Medicaid, which is the numbers kind of vary, $150 trillion, $200 trillion. But if you look at what's the total debt per citizen, if we figure in the average person's household debt, you figure in the cost of local, state government, and national government. So what is that number? What is the total debt per citizen? Well, that, my friends, is $207,000 per citizen. Yeah, that is a huge number, especially when the average person has a median income right now of $30,279. That is the median income. And what I found to be very interesting when I was kind of looking at some numbers and just really got me curious was this. Okay, so we have a median income of $30,000 now. But if we go back to the year 2000, okay, what was the median income then? The median income in year 2000, so 17 years ago, was $29,141. So we've had a change, an increase in median income just over $1,000. That is an increase in wages for the median income of 4%. Well, now, get this. Okay, let's compare that to something so we can kind of put it in context. Yeah, an increase of 4% over 17 years, yeah, that is not good at all. Now, if we look at what's the median price of a home in the year 2000? So we had a median income of $29,000. Well, the median price of a home in 2000 was $164,000. And now today, the median price of a home is $311,000. So we have an increase of, so comparing median income to the median price of a home in the same 17-year period, we see an 89% increase in home prices compared with just under 4% increase in wages. So that, my friends, is an example, perfect example, of how the average citizen, because of all this debt we've accumulated, all this Keynesian stimulus, it comes at a price. And that price is the average American is getting poorer. So if your wages, your income is not going up, is virtually staying the same, while the cost of everything you buy has gone up, you've gotten poorer. You can now buy less with your money. I mean, what you had in savings, let's say back in the year 2000 you had $50,000 in savings. $50,000 in savings, you could buy a third of a house. Well, today that would buy you like a sixth of a house. So, I mean, your purchasing power is not near as good as it was back in 2000 because we have a purposeful policy by the Federal Reserve of having inflation built into the system. They want to have that, the goal of a 2% target, which inflation is actually running higher than that. I mean, just looking at the median price of a home that has gone up that much in 17 years compared to wages. And then also, I mean, the value of the dollar, you guys have heard me use this statistic too. Since the creation of the Federal Reserve in 1913, the dollar has lost 97% of its value because the government has an interest in weakening the currency. The government benefits from a weakened currency because as goods get more expensive for us to buy, I mean, the government is able, they're the ones who receive the money first. So they get to spend their money and say buy the house or whatever at the $164,000 before it goes up. By the time you and I go to buy something, the price of it has already gone up, so we've already lost our purchasing power. So that is why I've said over and over again, you hear it elsewhere as well, that inflation is a hidden tax. Because all you see from the average consumer's perspective, okay, yeah, prices have gone up. Okay, yeah, maybe it's because fuel prices went up or greedy businessmen, they're raising prices because they want more profit. But no, it's actually because of the inflation that's built into the system that the government likes. The government doesn't like deflation because that gives the government less power. And that's why my whole mindset all along in terms of what the government's going to do in the future and why I'm so confident in buying, say, physical precious metals like gold and silver is that the government is going to inflate its way out of this next economic crisis. And that's what they've been doing all along, is slowly inflating. It's been a few years since they last had an official printing money scheme like, the QE3. But they will start up QE4, and it will be the biggest QE ever. But right now, yeah, the Federal Reserve is just building up credibility. Like, hey, see, look, we're trying to be responsible. We don't want to destroy the currency. They have to maintain that credibility. That's what all their moves are about. And they're talking about, we got to raise interest rates, and they have to appear like they're not reckless. If they appeared reckless in that they never had a plan it never seemed like, they don't really want to raise, they're not going to raise interest rates. Yeah, let's just keep printing money and we'll get this all figured out. People are going to lose credibility in the currency that much quicker. They have to maintain faith in the currency so that this scheme that they have going on can continue. Once the average person loses faith in the currency, or other countries do, then the game is over. Everything that I've talked about that will come with the collapse in the currency, all the things I've talked about, you should do this and this and this to repair, that will come to be because the game, they no longer have control at all. And it's going to be scary. Now, it's also part of the reason why it's so important to say have like a food storage. Because, say if you're buying food right now and it's at a price that's lower before, prices go up, because on average, most prices for things do go up, with the exception of, electronics mostly, then you're able to have it so your money goes farther. And especially when things start to unwind and inflation really gets out of hand, food is going to be a lot more expensive, and food is going to take up a lot more of your budget than before. All this money you thought you had for entertainment and going on little road trips with the family and movie night and all that, that fund will disappear because it's all going to be used for food and just trying to survive. I mean, luckily, thankfully, here in the United States, we don't have it like they do in Venezuela right now, where you guys will hear me talk over and over again, and I mention it in passing, that over in Venezuela, they're going through an economic crisis. They're eating flamingos and anteaters and, cats and dogs. They're just trying to survive there. The average citizen over there has lost, X number of pounds. That's not because they're on a diet, like people are trying to be here in the United States. No, it's because they're literally just trying to survive. And that is the path that the United States is heading towards, the Venezuela path, where, they're living high on the hog. Venezuela benefited from the higher oil prices. They sure as hell, they spent that money. Well, now oil prices have come down, and, also, well, actually, this is mainly the reason, people on the left and Keynesians like to say, see, the reason why there's problems in Venezuela is because the price of oil has come down. Well, no, it's actually because socialism doesn't work. When you've had 18 years of socialism, that tends to destroy a currency that destroys production and prices go up. As Margaret Thatcher that said, the problem with socialism is, eventually you run out of other people's money. Well, in Venezuela, they've run out of other people's money, and now they're resorting to flamingos and anteaters. We're trying to catch the wild things out there and, stray cats and dogs. That is a sad reality, and I hope to God we don't see things get that bad here in the United States. But, that's why you should always prepare yourself. And please, guys, forgive me if you can kind of tell, like, hey, Justin, your voice doesn't sound normal. What the hell's going on with you, so forth. Well, for some reason, my allergies have been bad, especially this last week. I'm always sneezing, nose stuffed up. And, years and years ago when I was in high school, I did the little allergy test thing, the little back scratch thing. And apparently I was allergic to a bunch of things, like tumbleweeds, hay, which I have been baling hay the last week. But I don't know, I never really had issues. Like some people swell up and almost die and so forth. Well, me, I don't know, I guess I cough more. But it's been a tough week. Always feeling like you're going to sneeze. Please forgive me for that. And hopefully I'll be better by next week's show. That would be good. I will have the bonus episode coming out. And I still will have the silver coin drawing for anyone who does either join Tom Wood's Liberty Classroom through my link on my website at justinmooreshow.com. More spelled M-O-H-R. So there's me a lucky person out there who will win a silver coin. And I hope you guys do plan on coming to Freedom Fest this year, which is in Vegas in July at the Paris Hotel. It is, I believe it's July 18th through the 22nd. It is the 10-year anniversary of Freedom Fest. And, they're going to have a bunch of great speakers there. A lot of guys that I've had as guests on my show, they're all going to be there. So come meet them, say hi, come say hi to me. It is just going to be so much fun. I look forward to Freedom Fest every single year. This year I haven't really looked at the agenda yet and seen, when's all the classes. I kind of like to see, which ones do I kind of want to go to and map that out. I haven't had time to even look at that yet, so hopefully I'll get to that. It's just been pretty crazy here. And then also, guys, if you want to donate to my show directly, another chance to, have a chance to, to be in for the silver coin drawing. If you donate over $50 to my show via PayPal, I will also send you my bonus episodes, and I have the new bonus episode coming out. That will update you on secrets to saving a lot of money going to Vegas for Freedom Fest and a good hotel to stay at, which is it's a fantastic location, and also be super close to the hotel. And it will make it'll be worth it for all the money you save. It all just depends. If you just want to be able to take an elevator ride down to, the conference floor, that's up to you. But I can literally save you hundreds of dollars with a very minimal commute time, and minimal walking as well. So I will update you guys on that, and I also have I'll update you on good credit cards to use, so you can make money from using credit cards, and I'll have a few more updates for you. And also I'm going to throw in a good place to go to, a nice hole in the wall to go to when you're in Vegas. It's right behind the Strip. Has amazing food, really cheap, a $10 steak dinner, and just an awesome place. And so that will be thrown in as well. And so, guys, if you can do that, if you donate to my show, or just use my Amazon little widget there. Okay, guys, I've said enough here all about that stuff. Just go to my website, again, justinmooreshow.com, and you can catch up on all episodes as well. So I thank you guys so much for being here. I will talk with all you guys next week, and I'm looking forward to it. This is Justin Moore, signing off.